Hello and welcome. I'm Melanie Hayden of the Healing Cocoon, and I will be your host for this interview with my guest, Samantha Orthlieb. Samantha is a registered herbalist, certified iridologist, flower nature essence therapist, EAV, bioenergetic medicine practitioner, contemporary medicine woman, plant protector, and land guardian. She's also an evolutionary oracle. Samantha is the soul behind the Centers of the Soul. Centers of the Soul is dedicated to supporting others in their soulful journey to embrace their highest potential. All parts of this visionary business, from its healing center, clinical practice, botanical sanctuary, and product line, form a cohesive vision to uplift, inspire, and empower others to become conscious co-creators of their own life and engage as self-responsible caretakers of our beloved planet. Just before we get started, I'll give you a little bit about my background. I've been practicing massage therapy for over 25 years. My practice has always been focused on health and wellness and providing my clients with resources to support and maintain their health and well-being far beyond the massage room. I've created and hosted professional conferences, social retreats, and fun events called the Urban Girlfriends Getaway with speakers on health and wellness, and have over 13 years of experience bringing educators and students together into the virtual classroom as a co-founder of the World Massage Conference. I'm now merging my technical skills and passion for sharing wellness resources by interviewing experts and professionals who have a lot of experience in supporting strong relationships and healthy lifestyles. We're recording this interview in April 2020, and there is no time like the present to introduce you to my very special guest. Welcome, Samantha, to the Healing Cocoon podcast room.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so you're actually coming to us from your botanical sanctuary, right?
I am, yeah, I'm on my farm here, and there's almost 11 acres, and part of it is garden. Then I also have an area for the animals, and of course, then I also have the forest behind me too.
Oh, yeah. That's so fabulous. So tell us a little bit about what your background is, what are the things that you do, and how you integrate that, and what does your practice look like?
Well, I have been a registered herbalist for 19 years. Prior to that, I had a background in marketing and advertising, but then I became ill and started on my journey in herbal medicine after that, and decided I wanted to shift my life and my lifestyle and shift my service to people. So that's how I got into being a registered herbalist. And then it naturally evolved from there, where I started to make my own products, and then I wanted to live off the land, which led me to getting the farm 9 years ago now it's been, and creating from that a permaculture-inspired botanical sanctuary where I grow products, but I also am part of United Plant Savers. So I do education and conservation of endangered or at-risk to watch medicinal plants. So yeah, I'm busy. There's lots going on. So I dovetail all of that into my practice. I work with chakra archetypes and psycho-spiritual plant medicine. So that's my focus, and I bring that all together and weave that into my practice and how I create more wholeness for clients and help them with health issues and all that works together. So I really enjoy what I do.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about archetypes. Not everyone knows what an archetype is, and how does that how does that work?
Yeah, I mean, both chakras and archetypes are universal, so that's why I like working with them. So no matter where you go in the world, there's always archetypes or chakras, and I find interesting that there was, given that we didn't have the World Wide Web, hundreds of years ago. So archetypes are sort of those universal symbols. They're shadow, light, dark, they're behavior. They're a certain aspect of the collective consciousness that we have. So such as like the good king or the evil queen, those are all those archetypes. You see them played out quite a bit in Disney movies, for example. So they become part of our consciousness. They become part of who we are. And so I work with those, and I enable clients to really see which of those they're living in. And I also talk in my blogs about where we are collectively, what we're living in. And that helps people understand and be aware. And I find that the more aware and conscious we are, the less then our body will be affected. The more we can hold that consciousness and live our soul purpose in the world. So that's essentially, with archetypes, they really guide us that way to understand better where our shadow is and where we can evolve that into something that's much more authentic and higher in consciousness.
Wow, that's incredible. I didn't think about them being so universal, and that.
Yeah, they are. They are found everywhere in every culture.
Yeah, that's really incredible. So we talked the other day just about this being a very transformative time. Can you share your perspective on how we can move through this this time of this global challenge, and what are the opportunities that you see for us?
Yeah, COVID-19 has brought up a lot of shadow in the collective consciousness. It is definitely targeting all our survival issues, which in a way is, I feel, it's long past due, meaning we're all kind of running on a high adrenaline, fighting for our lives, type of existence, whether we know it or not, but we are. And our whole world is built on profit. It's not built on working for universal rights and for people, right? And supporting the planet. So this is a time when we can really shift that thinking process and all the shadow that's coming up through that. It's really challenging. For example, our Earth Mother archetype, which is what keeps us safe in its community and we're provided for, and that's pulling up all of the shadow around that, where people are really concerned. Now that's starting to die down here. We're about 2 weeks into the virus. And people are now starting to sit and ponder. They're getting past most of the fear. Tomorrow's the full moon. We're going to start shifting past that, April 7th. And people are really going to start to see their truth in all of this and perhaps rethink their life and how going forward. And in the world, we can rethink a lot of systems and rethink of how we're being in the world. So that's why I feel this virus is, no other single event would really involve all of us. Like, it's getting all of us involved, and we have to look at what's best for ourselves, but also what's best for others. So we're learning this dance right now, which generally it's either one way or the other. This time it's glaring. We have to bring all of it together and take a look at it. So being aware, I think, will really help us get through this beyond the fear. So to really take a look at what's driving us, like why we're doing what we're doing, taking a look at how we can change things. I talk about creativity to my clients. Being creative right now is essential, thinking up new ideas and solutions, maybe trying, to look at a different way that you can actually, you can restructure your life so that it can be more self-sustaining, how you can work in communities together better. All of those things would help us get through that. And of course, I think what this has really brought up for people is to, as well, take care of their health and wellness. It tends to be, for a lot of people, it's secondary. And this is really bringing that up into a context where they need to, care about their body as much as their mind, right? I always look at the body as the feminine and the head as the masculine. And the masculine tends to rule in our world in terms of how we think and just how what we value. And so it's getting us to look at both and really balance that out, because it's challenging, again, all those survival issues for sure.
Definitely. I love that. And I love the opportunity, like you said, talking about co-creation, and we really do have the time now, so many of us, to take care of ourselves. And for those of the people that are still working and are especially working in healthcare, we're seeing a lot of this collective really supporting everyone that's on the front lines and really taking care of people and really appreciating what the people on the front lines are doing. And I get an email from Safeway, and they're, updating everybody every week about, what they're doing and new procedures when you're going into grocery shop and things. And one of the things they're saying is how much the public is appreciating them, and how grateful people are to their staff, and their staff are being surprised by how appreciative people really are. So I see a lot of
and that's a beautiful example, Melanie, because I think in the beginning, when people were hoarding and there was a lot of fear, that was not the case. But as time has gone on and everyone's calming down and realizing that if we all just work together, and respect each other on certain levels, but not lose our own truth in this, then we will be able to create incredible change. Like, already, look at what's shifted in 2 weeks, right? So I feel as a collective, can perhaps enlighten and show us if we really work together, we could affect incredible change in the world beyond just this crisis. So that's my hope, that it will start to shift a lot more people and awaken a lot more people that way.
Yeah, I agree. And again, we're seeing it already, right? So what are some of the things that you've been hearing from your clients? Like you said, now we're kind of a couple weeks into this self-isolation or quarantining, and social distancing. As far as, you know, when we're out in public, we want to minimize that, and we want to, you know, respect boundaries. And but what are you hearing from your clients about their experience as they're going through this, and where are you moving to now in your support of them?
Well, what I am finding is, and I've been off actually, I was actually supposed to be in Japan. So it didn't end up going to Japan. I was going to go climb a mountain, but that didn't work out. So I'm getting back into practice this week. I'm doing my consults via Zoom, and then we're mailing everything out, for example. But what I am hearing is, again, more people, there's two parts to that. One, wanting to look after their health and wellness, their immunity more. So supporting people that way, so, you know, whatever they need immune-wise, and but also helping them as well psychospiritually, because this is bringing up, again, like I said, a lot of that shadow for people on many levels. So supporting them in the way to make them aware of where that is, and that shadow for them is those reflections, and how they can work through that. So that's what I'm seeing, those two parts of it. They're not exclusive, because one really affects the other. You know, those of us in the natural health and wellness industry, we do know that what you think and what you believe affects your health, right? So that is a huge part of what I'm working through them with. I also write a monthly blog on the collective consciousness and what I channel. So that goes out to a whole bunch of people. So I've been writing a little more than I normally do, just to support people as well. Because again, people just we need support. We all need to know we're connected, and even though we're in our homes, for example, or, you know, minimizing our movement, that we can create community despite that, right?
Yes, absolutely. And I am seeing, again, on lots of social media, and we've been connecting in different groups. I volunteer and help to raise service dogs. And our Calgary group, we've been not able to meet. We usually meet once a week. We're now on Zoom. We're hosting a Zoom. And so it's really awesome, because you have this big screen. Your screen is full of all these faces that you get to normally see. So we are keeping in touch that way. And we have, I play Mahjong with a group of women on Sunday nights, and we're starting to do game night. We switched our game to a dice game, but we're able to connect. And I think just the importance and seeing just like the evolution of each week of people kind of going through certain processes, and I know, oh my gosh, it's so great to connect this way. It's so great to have this opportunity. And we worked through a few things yesterday. You know, I had heard some things that were sort of, I found as a challenge, about just how long things might take. And then we got to share our perspectives, and I just felt so much better after we connected. So I think we're seeing different ways that we're connecting in our community.
Yeah, I agree. People are being more creative. I feel this is going to bring out a lot more creativity in people. So instead of, you know, we're kind of moving past that frustration stage and enraged stage on certain levels. And again, like I've said before, I'm not downplaying that this is financially hurting people on certain levels for sure. People that can't do their work over Zoom, that type of thing, that's difficult. And I still see a gap there where they're not being supported enough. But my hope is again, as we move through, that will shift as well. People will see where the holes are, you know, particularly from government, and perhaps ante up and step in where we need them to step in. So yeah, we're only a couple of weeks into this in North America anyway. So and we can learn from other countries too, right? That's the thing, it's all over the world. So we're learning from other countries and learning from others' experiences. And we have to, on some levels, trust each other, which is not normal between countries generally. So yeah, again, like I said, what else will bring us together like this? Not many things, right? Only certain natural disasters. I think Mother Nature has a plan.
Yeah, she usually does. She usually does.
Yeah.
And again, I think that's where and like you said, it can be really challenging to bring up the, you know, asking people to look for the opportunities in this when
Yes.
we aren't able to be with our loved ones who may be in other states or other provinces or other countries where they may be ill. So we're seeing just tremendous heartache happen through this, as well as the financial pieces, like all of these things. And I feel like we are seeing some governments step up, and we are seeing neighbors and friends step up and loved ones step up. So how do we hold that heart space for loved ones that we maybe can't be with? Like what's that energetic piece of, like, you know, feeling like we're there with someone, and even in meditation that we can envision them and we can just talk to them and communicate them with them through that.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful. And there's some big global meditations going on. I was seeing that on Facebook. There's groups getting together and praying together, meditating together, doing sound baths together, holding these intentions of love and peace and harmony. And that's needed just as much as the frontline people, right? Like, I think some people feel very helpless too, that they can't do their work to help, but there's other ways that we can contribute. And remember, we're multifaceted human beings. We're not just one thing. You know, our work is not just that one part of us, and to remember that. So I do feel as well, this is an opportunity for people to bring that in and wake up and, you know, really appreciate the relationships more too, because I mean, my boys are in Ottawa. I can't go see them. You know what I mean? Like, it's just that type of thing. And my mother's birthday is tomorrow night. So we're all getting on a Zoom call all over North America. And those are things that she appreciates, right? More than a gift. So that's where we're seeing people discover different pieces of this. Right. And that's my hope, is that more will too.
Yeah, agreed. Samantha, I want to talk a little bit about your products, because that's also a supportive piece. That's that physical supportive piece that we can bring in, but it's also the energetics of the plants. So if you can talk about your tinctures and your teas, and, you know, just what you.
I have a number of products, but in essence, they all embody a psycho-spiritual archetypal aspect, also chakras, the way they're made. And to me, plants talk to me all the time. And I love my connection with them and with animals. It's a whole other level for me of being human within this world, and appreciating nature. And they have a way of intrinsically supporting us beyond physical. They don't just support us physically. They are able to get past the ego and into that psyche and really help us down in the subconscious, right? They get past those blocks we would normally have, and they can really go in and intrinsically support us to heal on many, many levels. Mentally, emotionally, physically. So that's what I use my products for. I educate people on them. I educate my clients on them. I have them in my blog every month, and people can see how they dovetail into where we're at on our great human journey, you know, on this ascension journey, because since 2012, we've been evolving very quickly, consciously and in awareness. And we need to, in order to change things on the planet and become more creative. Hence why people have been going through so many difficult things, particularly in the last 4 years. It's kind of like to break us all down to who we basically are, so we can remember who we are beyond the conditioning and the control, manipulation, like all the things that have, you know, the force in the world throughout generations. So what I find about plant medicine is amazing at supporting people that way, to bring them back to their core essence. So that's why I love using it in you know, plant medicine in the work that I do. So that's why I would say I am a contemporary medicine woman, because I use it in a way to help them weave their entire journey and existence together to understand, you know, why we're here.
Oh, and I love that, and I love your products. I think that it's amazing when you look at plants, because I think a lot of us just think about, even if we're really conscious about what we're eating and the health that we're eating, I don't think we really get that we can bring that essence in there.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to show like a little bit of, you know, some of the tinctures that I have and that I use daily. And again, what I love is that you are suggesting things for the time. You know, like these are the
Yeah.
things that would be really helpful for us right
Because it's
now.
beyond basic health and wellness, right? Beyond basic health and wellness.
Yes.
It's beyond basic survival issues, basically.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah,
we
right.
need to evolve. Yeah.
Yes, and we are right into Thrive, and the immune tea, I've got that
Yeah.
one going right now. And this, of course, is my favorite, the Illumination Chakra tea.
Yes, I know that's your favorite.
All-time favorite. I think every time I see you, it's like, can you bring me a case of that? So
Yeah.
that's something that I share with my clients as well. Samantha, I want to make sure that people have an opportunity to follow you, to learn more about you, to get in touch with you if they're inspired, if they feel called to learn more.
Yeah.
So where do we find you?
Well, I have a website, sensesofthesoul.ca, and then there's links on there as well. I'm on Facebook as well as on Instagram. Those are all, and then I have that monthly blog. Like I said, it's on my website, as well as you can subscribe to my newsletter. So everything's there for people. And I also have a YouTube channel.
Oh, fabulous, fabulous. So is there anything else that you wanted to share before we go?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you so very much for arranging this and interviewing people in order to help expand our perception of where we're at right now at this time in the world, and how we can all support each other. So thanks, Melanie. I really appreciate that. You're an amazing human being, so and a dear friend. So thank you.
Yes.
And also just to let people know that, you know, again, this too shall pass, but again, if we have a choice. Like, we're at a tipping point. I said this is the year of alignment. This is the year that we line up with co-creation. Everything we've been doing since 2012 is lining up for that. But we have to have the courage to change and be uncomfortable a little bit to change and take risk. And my hope is that people will see this as an opportunity to create a better world and start that process and finally let the old, you know, systems go. That's what I would leave people with, is just take a look at where you can be courageous and make some changes.
Oh, I love that. Thank you, Samantha, for your time and for everything that you bring to my life, for sure, beyond measure, and to your clients, and now, you know, taking the time to share that with us. So thank you. Really, really appreciate it. And I look forward to staying in touch and hopefully seeing you soon.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Take care.
Thank you. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.